Hello people, this is another video of my Blind People Are Capable series to demonstrate to the world that blind people are not helpless human beings. In front of me, I have implements of beauty. I am going to demonstrate how a blind person does her own hair and makeup. Believe it or not, we are capable of doing it once we feel how it's done. So today I'm going to do my hair first. I'm parting my hair down the middle with my hand. I can feel how my hair is, like where all the pieces are. I can feel this part right here. Okay, it's good. So now that I've done that, I'm separating it like this. Still make sure it's straightly parted. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do bits at a time so I don't rip my hair up to brush it out. And I'm going to start from the bottom. And once I'm sure it's brushed out, I'm going to work my way up, just like you should when you do hair, because if you don't, you're going to rip it out. You get teared up. My hair's a little nappy from the bath, but oh well. I washed my hair prior to doing this video because if I didn't, it would be really hard to do, and I don't want it to be, because like my hair gets really frizzy and then it won't stay in place. So I had to make sure it was wet. Almost done this section here, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm moving over to the next one. I break my hair up into sections when I brush it so that it's not like really hard to do and it's not painful. And then I'm holding it in my hand as I do it. Okay, this is just about smoothly through. I know when my hair is done because I can feel the tangle in it. Like, I mean, if you're blind, you can feel how your hair is. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm moving over to this piece. This is slightly bigger, but kind of rush through it. Especially if in the morning I'm trying to do this before work. I'm just like in a hurry. See, okay, oh, this is pretty easy. That section wasn't too bad. I am brushing straight through it. Cool. This is half the battle, getting it brushed out, and then braiding is the easy part for me. Now you're probably saying, like, how in the world is French braiding easy? It's actually one of my favorite hairdos. I've developed it over the years. I've gotten really good at it from doing it so much. You know, practice makes perfect, as the old saying goes. Okay, see, I can get my fingers through my hair. That's how I know it's done. So over to the other side I go now, separating it into two sections. So this way, it is doable. I'm holding my hand around the hair so it's not so painful. And I'm starting from the bottom, and then I work my way to the top. What I should have done, actually, was put in some leave-in conditioner. I tend to do that if I feel like it's really knotty, but I don't feel like it warrants it tonight because I conditioned it while I was taking my bath. So, this is awesome. Alright, so I'm just going through this one section one last time before I'm sure that it is not tangle-free. Not and tangle-free, yep. So now I'm over to this one here, starting from the bottom as I did to the previous ones. Then I'm working my way up more to the top here. And after this section done, then the braiding can commence. That's my favorite part. And then after I do the hair, I'm going to jump right into the makeup so that you all can see how a blind person does makeup. And it looks pretty good, by the way, too. You're probably thinking, oh my god, she's going to look like a clown by the time this is over, but I promise you, it will be presentable. I've done my makeup on my job interviews, too, so this is definitely public-worthy, meaning that I can show my face in public. Alright, just about through. Just got one little stubborn piece here for some reason. Yeah, see, blind people can do their own hair. We don't have the caregiver doing it for us. Not unless you've never been taught a day in your life. Thankfully, I have family that never allowed me to be babyfied and everything. Okay, so now the braiding's going to start. So I'm starting toward the front, and I have separated a piece of my hair, like into a section. So now, it'll be pretty good with stretching your arms above your head like this. And now I'm separating it into 3 sections so I can begin my French braid here. And I am putting the middle strand over the one on the right and the one on the left under the middle. And I am now braiding my hair. There we go. I braided a little ways, so now I've got to get more hair here so that I can French braid down. This is great. And I got that. I braid it pretty tightly because I don't like mine to be loose braids. You have the option to, but I like mine to be tight to my head. So I tend to pull mine a little bit here. Go. Because I feel like it lasts longer too, especially like if you want to sleep in them, the braids. So you don't have to do your hair the next day. You'll definitely want tight braids. Because then they'll come out, especially if you're restless. I would recommend, if you're going to sleep with them, to get like a nightcap to put over your head. So that way it preserves it a little better. Now I'm going further back. Pulling again to make sure these braids are perfect. Make sure there's no missing strands, because sometimes that happens and then it's irritating because then you have to undo the whole braid and do it all over again. You know, who wants to do that, especially if you're in a hurry, you're trying to get this done before you go to work. You don't want to have to redo them. I'm almost through with this one. See, it's one of my favorite. You can tell I've really perfected doing this hairdo because I am speeding through it. Speeding through it like wildfire. So I've got that done here. Just about through with this part. And when I have braided to the back enough, I'm going to get my hair tie and I'm going to tie it off. I have the hair ties on my wrist, by the way. It's my favorite place to keep them because I can access them very easily. See, right? Now I am going over to my left side here. Just like the right, I separate a small portion of my hair and then I go ahead and I separate it into 3 to make my braid. Yes. I wore this actually to my first day of work. I had a lot of compliments on it. First day to my new job. It was pretty awesome. Then I am going to now grab other pieces of hair here. Pull it tight. Remember, I don't like them very loose. There you go. If you're tender-headed, I don't recommend you do all the pulling that I like to do. Thankfully, I'm not extremely tender-headed because I could never get away with doing it this way if I was. Those who are very tender-headed would probably find the more looser braids appealing. What I just did was I felt the front of my head to make sure there were no really loose particles like flyaways. If there were flyaways, I would just at this point get some gel and press them down because the rest of the hairdo is not so bad that I would have to like start over and exasperate myself. And occasionally I have gotten flyaways. That's so annoying. I hate it. So what I'm doing now is I'm going down the back. Now, to finish off this particular hairdo, I have 2 options. I could either leave it separate or I could, you know, braid it into one. What I like to do is braid it down the back into one braid. Like the 2 braids lead into one. It's actually really nice that way. So I think that's what I'm going to do this time too.
Oh my gosh, she's scared.
I know.
This is acting. This is a real Oscar.
Okay, so I take these two ponytails. I don't particularly like to have two braids because like that's annoying to me. Like people do that, and I did that when I was younger, but I don't really like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to condense this into one. So
Make sure you don't have a piece out.
okay, yeah. Just like that. I'm going to condense this. There we go. You filming from the back there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so now I'm separating this. My sister's a good camerawoman, people. So now I am braiding this over like you would a regular braid, making sure I'm pulling it tight. God forbid, I do not want this to be two ponytails. Just looks kind of weird to me. It was appealing when I was in middle school, but I think I can do better now, so. Yeah, what you just heard is I'm going crazy in there because they're watching the Oscars. Fine time to film, right? We can add a little personality to this video. Heck yeah. Alright. I'm going to feel this over, make sure it's right and good, and I think it is. Oh yeah. It is fine, it is set. Good, and no flyaways on the front
That's
either.
what that looks like.
Hmm?
Just showing what the ponytail looks like.
Okay, yep. So you guys got a chance to see. My sister wanted to make sure y'all saw all of the aspects of it. Ponytail, no flyaways this time. This is amazing, good. Well, like I said, it's like sometimes it happens, but not usually all the time. Alright, so now on to the makeup parts. I am first going to start out with my foundation for my face. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit on my fingers here. And I'm going to rub it into my forehead. Now, if you're wondering how on earth can a blind person do this, what I'm doing is I'm rubbing it into my face and I'm following my hairline. No, I'm not getting it all in my hair, but I can feel where my hair starts. So I'm rubbing it in really good. And I know when it's rubbed in when I can no longer feel it. Like what it does is it absorbs into my skin, kind of like how lotion feels. It starts to dry out as I rub it. I would know it's not rubbed in well if I can still feel like kind of like a lotion effect, if that makes any sense. Like when you're a blind person, you do everything by feel. And you wouldn't want to use way too much foundation because then it'll take you 100 years to rub into yourself. I love foundation because if I have any blemishes, it'll hide them. And you're probably wondering, why on earth would you care about blemishes if you can't see? I care because we live in a visual world, okay? And society bases everything on looks. And if I want a job, if I want to be well represented, if I want to give blind folks a good name, I better care about my looks. So what I'm doing is I'm systematically rubbing it in. I'm making sure that the foundation I rubbed under my eyes is meeting with what's on my forehead and my temples here. Rubbing in excellently well there. Now take care of my eyes in a little bit. That's usually the last part I touch up on. I do my cheeks. I follow my cheekbone and my ears. Like I follow the way my line goes on my face right here, my cheekbone line. And I just need a little smidge. I don't need tons of foundation. I don't need that at all. Just need enough to blend it into my skin here. Going from my chin into my other cheek. This foundation is just a cheap Walmart brand. It's not really too expensive, but it suits me well. I don't really spend a ton of money on makeup, but as long as I can look beautiful, that's what counts. That's what matters to me, so.
Also, if you get foundation on your lips, it's fine because when you put lipstick on, it gives the lipstick a true color.
Heck yeah.
So don't worry about getting it on your lips.
Yeah, and that's really helpful for if you're blind too. Like, if you're worried about, oh my god, I got it on my mouth. No, I always put it on my lips. Always, always. I always put foundation on my lips because it makes my lipstick pop. And I don't have to worry, like, oh my god, I got it on my lips. I'm freaking out now. I'm going to look like a weirdo. So now I'm taking a little dab, and I'm going to rub it on my eyelids now. Just a little dab will do me. I don't need a huge amount. Close my eyes here. I'm rubbing it in so I don't look scary. And rub it in really good. Yep. I took some of the excess and rubbed it on my mouth. That's what you just saw me do. So I don't waste any. And it's all rubbed in really good. Just a little dab. I'm going to go back to my eyes. And I'm going to rub my face one last time just to make sure it's what it should be. I like to go over it like several times by rubbing it in just to make sure it's well blended. So I'm not like walking out of here looking like a clown. Doesn't feel as dry as it could, but I'm rubbing it in until it does. And after I do my face, I generally put it on my neck and everything too, like so it goes down and blends. So I have a nice look. Alright, it's looking fine. I can feel it. It is what it should be. And my eyes ain't gonna scare people. Alright, so now I'm going to go down to here. Put some of my hands. I can rub it into my neck. Get some more here. Yeah, I got enough to do this. Definitely I got enough. So what I'm doing is I'm rubbing it on my neck and my chest right here, like on the top of it, like where my shirt line is. So this way, it will definitely look really good. I'm still rubbing it in because it still feels like lotion on the skin to the touch. When it feels dry to the touch and it's not quite as sticky, then I know I rubbed it in properly. That's how a blind person does it, if you're wondering. We know how it should feel to the touch. Like, my face should almost feel dry. My face definitely does. I'm just going over it one last time because I'm going to make sure kind of gal. And just really trying to rub this in. I take my time with my makeup. It's not something I like to rush on because I just don't want to look foolish. Especially when I don't have a mirror to look in. I have to be extra careful. Okay. So now, I'm going to put the foundation down, and I'm going to get the lid, put it back on so it doesn't spill everywhere. And now I'm going for my powder. Now you're probably wondering, oh my god, how is she going to do this without getting it all over the place? Easy. I take my sponge, and I just pat my face, and I can feel the powder on my skin. Now that there's foundation here, I can feel it. It kind of changes the texture. It doesn't feel quite as, like, foundation-y. Like, foundation, though it would feel dry to the touch when it's rubbed in, it still has a very slight sticky feel to it. Not really sticky as if you got candy on you, but like it's very slight sticky. But then when you put the powder on, it just feels more smooth. There we go. Feel a lot more smooth to the touch once the powder's here. Here. And I'm powdering my forehead now. I'm doing it with my eyes too. Sometimes I would use eyeshadow, but when I do this I don't typically, because the foundation and the powder does the trick for me. It is a choice. So I need to add a little more here because I do feel it's kind of sticky still here. And I need definitely to put powder on this side of my neck. So see, a blind person is definitely capable of looking good. And you do it all yourself. No one does it for you. Just feeling where all the powder is. I just make sure it's covered good. Excellent. And I need a little right there. Just felt where I needed it to be. Making sure, I need to make sure that, oh, there's a little needs to go there. Okay, good.
Time's up. Just kidding.
You're so goofy. Okay, so now I am going for my lipstick here. Time will be up shortly, actually, because I'm near the end. You're so goofy. Hey, that ring was perfect.
I know.
So I just hate my lips. There you go. Rub them together. And you're probably wondering how I appropriately applied lipstick. I just felt where it went on my mouth. It's not that hard. Yeah, believe it or not, I get questions all the time about these kind of things. I think some of the questions could be answered if people actually thought about it. I think, honestly, if people really thought before they asked questions, they wouldn't be able to answer their own questions. And you could do your own gloss, because, I mean, you know where your mouth is. If you don't know your own body parts, then I think your problem is not just blindness, but it might be an intellectual one. Just want to go a little bit on this right here. I don't feel like I have enough gloss on my right. Excellent. And my finishing touch is my lip pencil. You're probably going, oh my god, this is going to be a disaster. Probably like, oh my god, this blind girl's going to do a lip pencil. She'll probably get it all over her face. But nope, you follow your lip line. This is a pencil here that twists to get more here. I'm going to start right here. Your lips are kind of like a heart shape, so I start right here where the point is. So I followed my lip line. That's basically how it's done. So, folks, this is how a blind person does their own hair and makeup. Fascinating, huh? It's totally doable. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to like all of your comments and feedback. And this will, by far, not be the only video, or the last of the videos in the Blind People Are Capable series, because you're going to be seeing a lot more of me in action doing various things as a means of educating the world that the blind people can function like everyone else. Thanks for watching.